So we're doing a bit of a build here for it's a very old tower that I'm going to try and put together with little bits and bobs for my kid. So he's not going to need anything too powerful. This was a Pentium 4. This is a Dell system, very old. But what I'm going to try and do is make it sort of powerful enough so he can sort of play his games and do his little bits and bobs really on it. So so far, as you can see, I'm sorry about the camera angles. Just here we've got a Pentium 4 CPU, and then I'm going to be replacing that with a Core 2 Duo, which will make it a lot more powerful than what it is. Obviously, as a child, he only plays silly little games, so this should be absolutely fine for him. Hard drive, we've got a nice Seagate. I don't know if you can see that there, if I can get it in the angle. It's a 400GB Barracuda drive, which should be more than enough space for him to put all his videos, so on and so on. So I'm just going to lift the camera up and just show you around the system very quickly, and then we can sort of go from there. So he's going to have a maximum of, like you see, it's a bit of a state. He's going to have a maximum of 4 gigs of RAM in this system, which is going to be more than adequate to play certain kids' games, which is going to be great. Power supply is not fitting very well, so I'm going to have to sort of modify this power supply. So as you can see, it's just a normal 500 watt power supply there, which I'm going to mount into this system like so. There might be a bit of a gap, so we're going to have to do some modifications on that, because this is actually a different power supply for what the system basically holds. But when you see the front, you can see what I'm saying is it's a relatively old PC, so we're going to be trying to get our best sort of setup we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put you into a decent enough angle so we can get this build going and see what occurs from it. So just bear with me for a sec. Right, so first things first, we've got quite a sort of, actually let me put you in a better position, because I don't feel, so I hope that's a bit of a better angle for you guys. So as you can see, we've just got a standard hard drive connection here, nothing special, no, although we've got some SATA ports down here. This drive, 400GB Barracuda, is going to be more than adequate for his needs. We're not going super here, so let's just do it. I do apologise about the background noise. Ollie, go away. So, first things first, we're going to put the new CPU in. So we're just going to lift up the CPU cage here. Like I say, this was a very old Pentium 4, but it's still a 775 socket, so a Core 2 Duo should perform pretty well in this system. So let me just get that out. I'm doing the first thing I'm not meant to do, which is touch the sides, but hey ho. So we're just going to get the P4 chip out, and we are going to put the Core 2. Now this is going to be quite a nice little system, you know, for him to get online, get on the internet. Like I say, he's only 3 years old, so it's not going to be too bad. We've got a GPU to go in there as well. So I'm just going to apply some, guys, the camera sort of fell, so I do apologise. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put some thermal paste on the CPU, that should be enough. And we're going to put the heatsink back here. So I'm just going to apply the heatsink gently with that. Alright, so that should be fine in there like that. We've got some more RAM here. So this is just another 512 stick, so this is going to knock this up to about 4 gigs. So it's going to be more than enough. Like I say, this is not too play the most advanced. Change the camera angles now. So we've got the CPU in place, we've got the RAM in place. I have got a basically a heatsink, which is, or a fan, which basically covers the whole system. So we're going to just basically slide that in, and then once this is done, we can blow this out. So what I'm going to do is make sure that the cabling goes around, so we can plug the heatsink cable in here, and just basically, hopefully, snap that into place. So that little click means it's in, and then we're just going to plug in the CPU fan. So we've got a RAM in, we've got a CPU, our hard drive's now going to be plugged in, which is our 4GB Barracuda drive, and now we're going to put some power to that. So obviously I've got some cables here. So I've got a cable for obviously the board, the motherboard power, which we're going to put in now, so it's done. And then we've got two power cables for the motherboard, so we're going to just plug that in. And now make sure we get it the right way around. Right, so that's in. Then we're going to get our secondary power source, which is going to go down here. So like I say, I mean, should be alright. We're going to put a new OS on here as well. I'm just going to lift the flap for the door, so I can just plug the secondary power in, and then I'm just going to bring that down here and then drop the fan case on. Okay, so we've got the RAM. Now, graphics. Obviously, like I say, nothing too strenuous, but still quite a decent card. Nevertheless, we've got a GT, a Zotac GT GeForce 1GB graphics. So I'm going to slide that in as well. That's going to give him more than enough graphical power there. So I'm going to just close that up, so that's done. Okay, so now we just need to do our power really. So we've obviously got power that's going to be connected to our hard drive, and then there's no power required for the graphics because that runs on board, so that's good. So basically there's not a lot that's going to be needed. Obviously we're going to thread a second power source into the DVD burner in a second, which should be fine. So let me just think how, because there's not a connection for the DVD burner. So obviously this sort of closes like this, and then I'm just thinking, does this take the same stretch as, yes it does. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do, guys, I'm going to have to bring my Barracuda out, and then I'm going to have to plug the main part into here, and then I'm just going to join the Barracuda with the DVD drive, so make sure it's the right way around. So we're going to use Bosch and Bosch, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the drive here. Sorry about the angles again, guys, it's pretty hard to sort of. And then I'm just going to bring my drive up and then just plug it into my DVD, the DVD writer, and then plug the secondary power in as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this all put together, and then I'm going to power it up and see how we get on. Okay, so we did the build, but unfortunately the power supply was not working properly. The power, I did have a spare power supply, but unfortunately it's not adequate for this system because I think it was only about 200 watts. So part 2 will be coming soon. I've just literally ordered a minute ago another power supply. I did think the power supply that I put in there was about 500 watts, but I was mistaken. And when I switched it on, I was getting all sorts of problems with it. The fan started wearing up really fast, so on and so on. So, soon as the power supply arrives, be sure, guys, there will be a part 2 with a Windows installation, Windows 7, 32-bit, because this is only a 32-bit system. And we're just going to put some stuff on it for him and see how it goes. So thanks for watching, guys. Like I say, I do apologise about the camera angles. They were a bit skew with, but it was totally out of the blue, this build, but still it was good fun anyway. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for listening. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.